Welcome. My name is Reverend Lori McMacken, and I am the new kid on the block here. If I haven't met you, I would like to meet you right after the service. I'll be in the family room. At this moment, we would like to honor our practitioner who is holding light, Bob Greer. Here at Seaside, we have over 50 licensed practitioners who are here to serve you and to support you in any way they can. If you have a prayer request, I invite you to fill out a prayer request form in the back of the room and to slip that in the prayer request form box. And if you'd like to have a one-on-one spiritual mind treatment, after the service, you can meet the practitioner over at the prayer chapel in the hallway. Our winter classes are on their way. It's not too late to join Reverend Christian Sorensen in his foundations class. And let me tell you, this is probably one of the most magical classes here at Seaside. If you haven't taken it, make sure you get in there. And if you've taken it, take it again. You can never get enough foundations. That's Tuesday evening from 6 to 9. Another amazing class is Reverend Tammy with Power of Your Word on Monday evening from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Dr. Roger Julien, Ignite Your Life with Bible Wisdom on Thursday from 6:30 to 9:30. I've only heard wonderful things about his class. Now, today was the Vision Board workshop, and it has been postponed until March 29th. Join us after the second service for congregant care ministry visioning in the Emerson Room. It's a beautiful spiritual practice and a wonderful way to serve. Now, this Wednesday night, Reverend Debbie McDonald will be doing the Going Within service, practicing the principles. And the following Wednesday, Reverend Lori McMacken, that's me, I'll be leading the Practicing the Presence, for we know the sweetest nectar is within. And right now, Lynn Willard's going to come up and tell us about a special event he has in February.
Out in the foyer, we have really great article on Joe Garrison in the center of the latest Troubadour issue. Hopefully all of you will take a copy and read that. It's a wonderful story about Joe's life. Joe Garrison has been a diamond in the rough in San Diego since the late 80s with the Night People. This group started out as a quintet. It's grown to be a 16-piece ensemble. Joe writes some of the most adventurous, daunting jazz music ever. And he's considered one of the preeminent composers right now in Southern California. This music is not big band music. It's a large ensemble jazz group. We have a bass clarinet player. Her husband plays computer, laptop, electronics along with us. And we also have wonderful local favorite Dave Millard on alto flute and electric cello. So we have some great new surprises in store for this upcoming concert, Friday, February 6th at 7:30 right here at Seaside. Hopefully all of you can attend. Check out this music. It's really exciting stuff. And I'm thrilled to be part of the ensemble. Get flyers out in the front as well as this Troubadour copy.
Yes, that sounds exciting. Also on February 8th, Michael Paul Smith is doing a tribute to Paul Robinson, and there's a poster back there if you want to read more about it. We have many enhancement classes for you to sign up for in February and March. Practitioner Rosedale Jones, she's doing a class called It's All in the Practice, and she's right, it all is in the practice. And I would like to do a shameless plug for myself and practitioner Sharon Bagley. We're teaching a class called I Draw Loving Boundaries, and it's standing in your authentic power using the religious science principles. Also, Friday, March 13th, Christine Stevens, the Sufi-licious Band, and myself will be leading the Dances of Universal Peace, simple songs and dances honoring all paths to God. I would love for you to join us. It will be a beautiful evening. Please rise and greet your neighbor, and then stay standing for our congregational song.
Seaside. Please remain standing for the congregational song. upon me. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. I used to think that I had to. I used to think that I should. The scripture told me that I had to be good. But now I love because I want to. I love because I am free. Blinded by the Spirit, oh Lord. The Spirit of God is upon me. Sing! Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. 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 Whoa. I don't need any prodding. I don't need any law. Wanna sing with all my heart. God is my all in all. I let go of my burden. Loving God has made me free. Blinded by the Spirit, oh Lord. The Spirit of God is upon me. Come on. Whoa. Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, whoa. Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. Come on, Bob. Yeah. Whoa. Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. I thought it was my duty. I thought it was my job. Somewhere I believed that loving God would be hard. But loving God is wonderful. Loving God is ecstasy. Thank God for my freedom. Said the Spirit of God is upon me. Sing, whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, yeah. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. Yeah.
That's Rebecca Jade reminding us that the Spirit of God is upon me. And good morning, Seaside. What a joy to be here with you today and just to know that the Spirit of God is upon me, it's upon you, it's upon this community. There is something exciting and dynamic and wonderful going on at Seaside this year. For Seaside is truly committed to assisting you to experience an amazing life this year with expanding abundance. How's that sound? All right. Well, and to get there today, we're just going back to the basics. Love to do that in January. We take a look at Ernest Holmes' book, The Science of Mind, and look at those opening chapters and just go back to experiencing that presence. And one of the basics is always God first, Spirit first. And so here on Sunday mornings, we go there, and taking us to there today is a wonderful practitioner, and that is Rosedale Jones, who's going to pray us to that place.
Good morning. Join me in the silence. There is a grace, a power just over me, through me, and as me that I'm very grateful for. And this grace and this power beats my heart, blinks my eye, renews every single cell in my body every day. Moves right, left, and everywhere. It preceded me here to this fabulous Seaside Center for Spiritual Living, and here it is open and receptive to me, and I am open to it. And as I open to it, I receive the value that I choose, that Reverend Christian will talk about today, has already spoken about, and you all love it already. So I give great thanks for this fabulous body of mine, this fabulous spirit within, this fabulous spirit without the sanctuary, and know that it is a fabulous service we're about to embark upon. And so it is.
God is real. God is magnificent. God is light. God is love. I am real. I am magnificent. I am light. I am love. We are real. We are magnificent. We are light. We are love.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Reverend Tammy Mars. It's my joy to be with you here today. It's my joy to walk on this spiritual path with you. I love seeing people that are about the good in their life, and knowing that as we immerse ourselves in it, we become greater expressions of it. So it's so glad to see that all of you are here. I know that the planet is a better place because of it. So Science of Mind, or the teaching of Centers for Spiritual Livings, is about the practical application. So this is a teaching about applying that which we know, that which we find out about, that which we study, that which we hear. It's about using it and utilizing it in our lives. And that's what we are committed to here at Seaside Center for Spiritual Living, for we have classes and we have all different ways and techniques to immerse ourselves in spiritual truth. And coming to services, both Sunday and Wednesday, is one way in which to do that. Hanging out with people of like mind, speaking this truth, is another way. Studying it through our books and immersing ourselves in prayer and spiritual music and truth is another way. And as we immerse ourselves, it just raises us up, and anything other than that godlike quality falls away. So that's what we are committed to here at Seaside. So we're so glad that you're here on this journey with us. And if this is your first time, we say welcome. Thank you for coming. We're so glad that you're sharing your love and light with us here today. Come back as much as you can. In fact, join the family. We'd love to have you here. We have a welcome table in the back that has a packet for you if you're brand new, and it has all kinds of information about who we are, how you can implement this teaching into your life. It has a bunch of different certificates, so discounts at the gift store, and all kinds of gifts for you. So be sure to pick it up if you're new here today. So Reverend Christian, as he mentioned, we're going back to the basics, which is a good thing to do from time to time. The first 4 chapters in your Science of Mind textbook is just that. It's going back to the basics. Today, Reverend Christian is going to be talking about the thing itself. So I've chosen a reading out of the textbook from that chapter. So I invite you to take these words within. Close your eyes if that is comfortable, so that you can allow that spirit within your full attention. This comes from page 32. It says, all men seek some relationship to the eternal spirit, which we call God. And life reveals itself to whoever is receptive to it. The fact that we are living in a spiritual universe, which includes the material universe, has been a conclusion of the deepest thinkers for every age. This spiritual universe must be one of intelligence, of perfect life, dominated by love, by reason, and by the power to create. That seems an inevitable conclusion. There's a power in the universe that honors and rewards our faith in it. Nature seems to await our comprehension of her, and since she is governed by immutable laws, the ignorance which excuses no person from their effects, the bondage of humanity must be a result of our ignorance of the true nature of reality. The storehouse of nature may be filled with good, but this good is locked to those that are ignorant of it. The key to this door, to the storehouse, is held in the mind of intelligence, working in accordance with the universal laws. Through experience, we learn what is really good and satisfying, what is truly worthwhile. As our wisdom increases and our capacity to understand the subtle laws of nature, as it grows, we will continue to be set free. As we learn the truth will automatically set us free. When we learn to trust the universe, we shall be happy, prosperous, and well. And so let us just take those words within as we just allow that truth, which every cell in our body already knows, lines up with, vibrates with, expands with, and grows with, and becomes who and what we are in our expression. For I know there is only one power and one present, and it is the power and presence which I call God. It is the intelligence that has created all things. It is the wisdom that inhabits every part of our being. It is the wisdom that inhabits our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our learning. It is that power and presence that loves, that is an unlimited resource of good, an unlimited resource of peace and joy. And it is right here as my very being. It is me, it is you, and it is all. And it's with this truth and this deep knowingness that I call it forth as the full expression of our being. For I know that we cannot and will not be denied, for God simply says yes. So as I place that in my consciousness and awareness, as I put that as the forefront of my attention, I walk on holy ground, I see as God sees, and I know that it is good and forever good. And so I let go, I trust, I surrender, and I watch with eyes of amazement as I see the beautiful orchestration of the divine. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning, Seaside. Well, it is my honor to introduce our guest artist for today. She's down here visiting us from Los Angeles. I asked her to tell her a little bit about her and her relationship with Seaside, and she says she feels like, in a part, that she actually grew up here at this church. So she's a fantastic singer, came down to be with us from Los Angeles. She actually started a African dance workout class. So I thought that was really fascinating. So maybe we can hopefully one day have her to come back down and teach us all how to do that. But this morning she's going to bless us with song. So please give a nice warm Seaside welcome to Bashira.
Good morning. Yes, I do feel like every time I come here, I'm in this amazing new chapter of my life. And so, yeah, I feel like I get to grow up every time I come. And I see a lot of familiar faces and love rocking out with you. So the first song is Don't You Forget God's Dream. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Hey! the time is now. I can't wait any longer, and our journey's long, but we shall endure. Remember always what God put you here for. Yeah, 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 yeah. Don't you forget God's dream. It's what we're meant to be. Don't you forget God's dream. Even when I'm seen no longer, and I will look back across the skies, across the sea, and I'll smile in your direction, and know you're smiling back at me. Yeah. Don't you forget God's dream. It's what we're meant to be. Don't you forget God's dream. Even when I'm seen no longer, don't you forget it. Don't you cry. God's right beside you, so just wipe your little eyes. Yeah, 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 oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Don't you forget it. Don't you cry. God's right beside you, so just wipe your little eye. Yeah. Can we have a little saxophone on this? Come on. A little more. Don't you forget God's dream. It's what we're meant to be. Don't you forget God's dream. Even when I'm seen no longer, don't you forget it. Don't you cry. God's right beside you, so just wipe your little eyes, baby. Yeah, 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 yeah. Don't you forget your dream. It's what you're meant to be. Don't you forget your dream. Don't you forget your dream. Thank you.
And that is Brashira. Woo! Oh, man. Welcome home. We missed you. Busy having a family and raising a family. And just want you to know, first time I saw Brashira, I didn't even know I was watching her, but it just happened to be she was dancing and singing on the stage of Broadway in a show called The Lion King. So how fun to have you back here at Seaside and just being part of things. So this morning, we're going back to the basics. I love this. I get to do this every year. I've done this for over 30 years, and I can't get enough of just remembering that it all starts with God. We know that, but it's good to just have it put in my face once again. And so as I take a look at the basics, I go to Ernest Holmes' book, which is called The Science of Mind. And Ernest Holmes said, this book wasn't a revelation to me. Rather, it is a compilation of those common threads of truth that seem to weave themselves through the great religions and the philosophies and those stories from the beginning of time, that they're all applicable today, whether you're dealing with relationships, whether you're dealing with transition, whether you're dealing with abundance. There's a common universal spiritual principle that seems to be there in all the religions, and it all begins with what Ernest calls the thing itself. Now, some fundamental religions may say that's blasphemy. How could you call God a thing? But I got to tell you, as soon as you start calling it a thing, it begins to dissolve all the preconceptions you have as to what you think God might be, because as soon as you say it's that, it's not. It is so much more than that. It is indescribable. It's ineffable. You can't really you can't draw God. I mean, but you can feel it. Don't you sense that life force, that energy, that something, that first breath, first cause, that joy, that grace, that ease? That is what it is, and that's the thing itself. And so that can show up in our lives in ways that make a difference. And when you begin to know that it is infinite, and you realize infinite means it's all been given, there's enough for you already, and that all change takes place within the changeless. It all takes place within that which is infinite, and you begin to be that place that denotes it, that sees it, that claims it, that proclaims it. I mean, Oprah Winfrey, she started off the year by saying, as I look to the future, it is so bright my eyes burn. Wow. But I want you to recognize that there's more to life than watching somebody else live theirs. And that's what I am here to do this year, is to assist you to have an amazing life with expanding abundance, where you can live with ease and grace and say, wow, my future is hot and I am on fire with this thing. And with that said, on that path, you're going to have your highs, you're going to have your lows, you're going to have your yes, and you're going to have your discouragements. And I got to tell you, discouragement doesn't need to be a bad thing. I kind of, when I hit those discouragements, it's like a kick in the pants. Okay, boom, I got it, let's go. Things happen in life, and it's not what is happening that is the issue. It's how you interpret what is happening. It's how you deal with what is going on in your life. And when it comes to discouragements, I've had my share. I've had discouragement in love. I've had it in finances. I've had it around Seaside. But I also had my successes in love and in finances and around Seaside. And it begins to be how I tend to deal with it, because what I've come to recognize more and more, it's not what it is that I get from the world that is going to make me happy. It's not more of that thing itself that I get that makes me happy. It's more of what I can be in this world that will bring me much happiness or much sadness. How am I being in this world? Am I able to be that place where the presence of God is known and expressed? Am I free enough? See, that's a big important point to me. And freedom is an important point of religious science also. I mean, am I free of the conditions, of the disappointments, of what's going on in the world? Ernest Holmes, in his book, The Science of Mind, on the first page of the first chapter, he talks about freedom. And every year I read you this quote, and I was assuring myself I'm not going to do it this year because you guys know it by now. But it is so good, and what I recognize is that I got to read it to you again. I mean, if he puts it on the first page of the first chapter and mentions the word freedom 6 times in the same paragraph, maybe we should pay attention. And I assure you, it's something that resonates deep within my heart and within my soul. I want all of us to be free in our life, not bound by the conditions of our world or what the doctors say or what the finances say or what's going on in the relationship that may be a downtime. And so Ernest Holmes, on the first page, the first chapter called The Thing Itself, he writes that individuality, it must be spontaneous. It can never be automatic. The seed of freedom must be planted in the innermost being. The divine plan is one of freedom. Bondage is not God ordained. Freedom is the birthright of every living soul. All instinctively feel this. You feel that? Doesn't it feel right to be free? All instinctively feel this, for the truth points to freedom under a law. Thus, our inherent nature is forever seeking to express itself in terms of freedom. And what it is that we do would be well to listen to that inner voice, for it tells us of a life that is wonderful in its scope, of a love beyond our fondest dreams, of a freedom which our soul craves. Here's Ernest Holmes talking about cravings back way then in the 20s. Our soul craves freedom. Is that so? Does that resonate with you? Do you not desire to be free? Yes, well, I have got the basic teachings for you. It's God first, this thing itself. Ernest Holmes, he writes in the same chapter on the thing itself that the conscious mind is superior to the subjective mind, and the subjective mind must respond to the conscious direction. Right? So the conscious mind, he says in this chapter, is spirit, where our subconscious mind is the law. The law being, it must do it. It doesn't have a choice. It's infinite and it knows how to do it. But it must do what it is told to do. It is the sum total of our thinking. The law must respond. It is a principle. It is a principle means it's infallible. It must respond. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be a prince or a pauper. You can be the 1% or the 99% in our modern day vernacular. It doesn't matter. You jump off a cliff, you're going down. There's something called gravity happening, and it doesn't care who you are. You mix blue, you mix yellow, you're getting green. It doesn't matter who you are. And so as you begin to realize that there is a responsiveness and that the conscious mind has to step outside of the dictates because the subjective is working 24/7, and it was put in motion usually as a young kid and doesn't really get changed, and it will do whatever it needs to do to hold everything in place that it was told to do by this little kid. You may be matured a little bit and you added some new input, but it's continuously working. And what we are saying is if you want to not be discouraged when something happens to you, you have got to choose to exercise your conscious authority, which is spirit moving through you from an objective perspective, and say, you know what, you're not bound by that experience. You can discern, you can interpret it in a different way. You do not need to be inside that box. But what happens is most people just forego their options. Interesting report came out about individuals in DMV and donating organs. Go to the DMV, they ask you want to donate, you want to be part of the organ donation program. Maybe you got this altruistic, noble part, you say yes. Maybe your face goes with the images, I don't know, my heart living around in somebody else, it may not feel right. Or you just, this is such a big decision, I don't know. I'm a big kid, but I don't know if you got that going on. What's interesting in this report is that they checked into the response of this, and they found that the response was different in different countries. In Germany, one out of 8 people say they'll be organ donors, which is a 12% responsiveness. Where their neighbor next door in Austria, it's 99% of those that say they'll be that. Over in Sweden, it's 89% people will be organ donors, and over in Denmark, my grandparents' native land, my motherland, it's only 4%. Is it because they're Vikings? Or, is it culture? Is it religion? Is it fear? It's none of those things is what this report indicated. It's how it's asked. How they ask in let's say in Denmark, is they say, would you like to be part of this organ donor program? Check here. And nobody checks, 4%. But over in Sweden, they say, if you don't want to be part of this program, check here. Right? And what's interesting for me to recognize is we just don't like checking boxes, And if it's like, if it's a big decision and we don't really know the answer, we just kind of go what has been decided for us, what fits nice and neat in there. If you hit that sense of inertia, I'll just kind of go with what is or what's recommended and all of that. And, it might work nice with some programs, but I've got to tell you, with your life, when you are being pumped in ways to be and you have to think outside of that box, it is essential that you choose to exercise your spirit or your conscious mind, that thing itself that is seeking to express yourself in your life, and change that conversation that is going on. You change the conversation and you will change your future. What's going on there in that subjective is, in a sense, like your ego trying to protect its position, and it can take the infinite offerings of beautiful heaven on earth and turn it into hell. But it's your spirit that can turn a hell into heaven. It's your choice. You get to decide what you're going to do with it. I've been reading Tony Robbins' new book, and I think we have it in the bookstore. It's called Money, Mastering the Game, 7 Simple Principles. And he tells his story of growing up out in the valley, poor. They had to decide for dinner whether it was beans or spaghetti made with ketchup because they couldn't afford spaghetti sauce. 4 fathers. When he was 14, his mom saw a commercial that said, son, you know what you can be? I figured out a truck driver. It says at Truck Mastery School of Truck Driving, you can make $24,000 a year. That's twice what your dad's making as an attendant. And 14-year-old, that could almost be appealing. Get out of here, see the country. But he was working with a friend, and a friend said he went to a seminar by Jim Rohn. Have you guys been around? He's just one of the truly greats and early guys of mastery. And Tony was working part-time as a janitor in high school, making $40 a week. And when he asked how much seminar, the guy said $35. I said, $35? I make $40 a week. How can I do that? And he says, well, the guy takes 20 years of his life and puts it and condenses it into 3 hours. I said, can you get me in? The guy says, yeah, I can get you in, but I'm not going to. You need to know the value of what that is. And so he sucked it up and he went and he said it changed his life. What Jim said is, you want to know the secret of economic success? Yeah, I guess. So he says, the key is you bring more value to the market. And it's that simple. The key to economic success is to figure out and to understand how you can bring more value to the market. You want more, you be more. Don't wish for it to be easier, wish that you were better. If you want change, you got to be changed. If you want more, you have got to be more. And it takes a lot of time to increase your value, but you're not paid for your time. You're paid for the value, and the best thing you can do is to figure out and understand how you can be more valuable to the market, because the market will always support you in what it is you're doing and who it is you are. And so what we want to do is begin to figure out, how can I be more valuable in the market? Because the market pays for that. I think minimum wage in California now is, $9 an hour or something, which is what its value for a person, be a cashier at a fast food restaurant, which is valuable. But you can train that fairly quickly. I looked up the top CEO salaries last year, or actually it was 2013. I guess they don't have 14 in yet. The guy who runs Disney last year, his compensation was more than $50 million. I thought that was a lot, but there are people above him, like Elon Musk, the guy who runs Tesla, over $75 million. And people were scratching, well, that's just, I don't know, that's a nice chunk of change. Could that really be that valuable? Of course. Those individuals brought $1 billion or more into their company. $50 million is a drop in a bucket to $1 billion, but most people aren't able to even function in those kind of realms. CEOs of companies that are struggling are taking home a lot larger percentage than the $50 million CEOs. I'm not even talking about the guys who make the big dollars that are beyond running a company. These are individuals whose salaries are out there for the world to see. And I share that story because we are dealing with the thing itself. We're dealing with that which is infinite, that says, you know what? You bring value and you will be compensated. There is no limit to the unlimited, to the infinite, other than what you put on it, other than what you discern, other than how you choose to interpret it. And if you're thinking, oh, this is ridiculous, then you're never going to get it, because it will be ridiculous to you. What I want to do is to stretch the parameters of your mind and thinking and know that you're dealing in an infinite realm. The thing itself is inexhaustible. Try to exhaust it. You'll have a lot of fun with that, And what's interesting for me to take a look at is people saying, okay, how can I become more valuable? If all it is understanding how I can bring more value to the market, how can I do that? What you got to do is retool. That's it. You've got to figure out, what can I do to refresh how I'm doing it? Because things are changing. I got to tell you, we got hit with a big time constriction in our economy in 2008. We lost 2.3 million jobs in just that year alone. I've got to fill you in. A lot of those jobs on that side of 2008 are never coming back. And I still hear a lot of moaning that I lost my job and the economy and all those things. But the fact is, there are a slew of jobs out there. Now, Oxford did a report that said in the next 20 years, about 50% of the present jobs are going to be replaced by technology. It's not as if there's going to be any less jobs. In 1860, 80% of America was farmers. And now it's 2%. And I'm not going to get into corporate farming. That's a whole different subject I'm not addressing today. But I'm just using that as a point of reference, that as soon as they introduced the steam engine, as soon as they introduced equipment, one farmer could replace 500. It was not necessarily good for farmers, but exponentially, it was fabulous for the Industrial Revolution and everybody else around that. There was a retooling, there was a newness. I assure you, 150 years ago, they had no concepts that they would need computer technicians, that they would need social media marketing experts, that there would be stem cell scientists. But life is evolving, and on that side of 2008, there was something, and on this side, Silicon Valley right now is aching for employees. They are searching the planet. They have far more jobs available than there are people that are qualified to fill those roles. So it's not as if we're short of jobs. I mean, if you're home watching TV, there's this show called Dirty Jobs. And the guy by the name of Mike Rowe does this show on Discovery Channel. He just recently said, presently, there's 3.5 million jobs available right now in America, and only 10% of those need four-year college degrees. So what can you do here? You can retool. You can learn a new expression. You do not need to be bound by, oh, this is disappointing. I've been hit with disappointment, I've shared with you, but how am I going to interpret this? I'm going to use it as a kick in the pants to get going and do something differently. How am I going to be different in the world? It is calling for a new kind of expression. How are you going to say yes to this new kind of expression? How are you going to change your conversation so your future changes based upon the infinite thing itself that is seeking to express itself in your life? Well, Christian, I just kind of stuck in my job. I like my job, but it just doesn't pay much. I got to tell you, one of the greatest professions in our country, probably most underappreciated, underpaid profession, and valuable are teachers. Yeah. And, they say, I'm pretty stuck, got the pay that's there, and I have 30 kids, and it's a wonderful thing. But there's an interesting example that there's this teacher over in South Korea called Rockstar. His name is Kim Chi-hoo. And according to the Wall Street Journal, that 60 years ago, South Korea, the majority of the country was illiterate. And today, the 15-year-olds are the second highest class of ability to read. And 93% of them graduate from their high school, where in America, 77% of ours graduate. And they said back then, you know what, we've got to take care of our kids. We've got to innovate. So told all the teachers, the government, or whoever was taking care of that, said, you need to be innovative. You need to get together. You need to mentor each other. You need to continue to innovate. You got to come back and teach the next class, same thing, but differently, with new techniques and new ways of being. And so Kim Chi-hoo, he began to do this mentoring. He began to innovate. He began to think and say, what can I do? What can I do? I love my 30 kids, but what can I do? Technology is developing. He said, I'm going to share this online. He began sharing it online. He put 60 hours a week into a 3-hour lecture so he can be extremely valuable. You got that? How can I be so valuable in 3 hours that people are willing to pay $4 an hour to come? Last year, his annual income was over $4 million. So the only thing that is keeping you limited with the unlimited, with the thing itself, with the ineffable, is your thinking, is your concept, and your mind. Because things are changing. On that side of the bubble, I'm disappointed. Oh, gosh, it hurt. Classic. In our culture, the titan of Wall Street for a century, Kodak, the film. And we all know that sad story that in 2012 filed bankruptcy. It's not as if it didn't have the innovation. It invented digital film. But it was too big to be able to turn its big ship, or whatever its story was, that it filed bankruptcy. 50,000 people near Rochester, New York impacted. Very sad thing. Kind of like the farming, wiped out. But on the other coast here in California, the local kid, this local surfer dude by the name of Nick Woodman, his story, Nick loved surfing. He was passionate about surfing. He loved surfing so much he wanted to be able to be in the tube even when he wasn't surfing. And so he started tinkering with this new technology of digital cameras. He tried to figure out how to make it waterproof so he could take it out into the waves with him. And he worked on the new technology, and YouTube was beginning to birth itself, and he could play these videos. And all of a sudden, he developed this small watertight camera. It's called GoPro. And you can just strap it on your surfboard or on your helmet. If you're skateboarding skateboarding or whitewater rafting for adrenaline junkies. They put on their helmet and go base jumping, and you can watch them just fly through the sky. And a surfer dude from our backyard here in San Diego is now worth $1 billion. Don't tell me you are stuck because the economy has done something. What Jim Rowe would have taught us if we had listened, it's about understanding how I can bring more value, is I am no longer an effect of the economy. I am no longer controlled by the outside. I am no longer controlled by the producers. I am no longer controlled by the media. I am no longer bound by what's going on. I'm going to understand how I can be more valuable in the marketplace, because what happens is there is a natural flow. There's a law that supports the value that is there. And so I'm giving up those old stories of I can't, because I'm just a teacher. I can only make $4 million this year, you know? I'm just a surfer dude, only going to be worth $1 billion. Yeah. So the stories of it not working is in your head. It is not the spiritual truth. And I'm here this year to just shake you so you can live an amazing life with expanding abundance. There's nothing that's going to stop you but your discernment and your understanding of those discouraging moments, which you can say bad, but they don't have to be. It can be the swift kick in the pants that gets you going. What am I going to do with this? Well, if I get going, people are going to say things. You bet people are going to say things. They're talking about me all the time. And and something that has brought peace to my soul. You know, Aristotle said that you don't want anybody to criticize you. Say nothing. Do nothing. Be nothing. That doesn't work for me. Those innovators, those that are not controlled by the outside, something that stirs in their soul. It's called the thing itself, according to Ernest. And the way it works, which is the next chapter. The first one is the thing itself. But the way it works is, and it's very clear, he says, it works for you by working through you. It's done in you believe. Someone else coined that phrase before him. But you are bound because you're first free. You're free. You can decide whether you're going to be miserable or you're going to be happy because this is what's going on in your life. This is what's going on in your life. This is the physical fact. The spiritual truth is you are infinite in your nature. You are not bound because you can't afford a mortgage or a rent to move to where it is you want. You're not bound to stay committed to a particular location or a job or a relationship. If it's not working, you know, you can use the discouragement to create the world that you have been entrusted to dream. But if you are so busy taking a look at what's not working, how can you look at what's possible? How can you see what is possible if you're looking at what's not working? You know, where you look is where you go. That's pretty simple. That is the way it works. Yeah. People worry. That's, you know, and that kind of static fills your head. They worry what people are going to say. They're always going to say something. They worry what people are going to think. I might fail. I'll tell you what, you can worry about anything. Worry about what you're going to miss if you don't even attempt it, if you're going to try. But this worry thing is just, it's like using your imagination in a negative kind of way. But I'll tell you what, those that have created the box are going to use your imagination unless you choose to use it. And if they're creating that box for you to not bother checking or exercising your expression, then you just become a pawn in their chess game. But what I want you to become is the chess player in this world, and know that this world is here to serve you and your vision and everything that is possible for you to do and to be. You got to have that dream. I mean, this week we're celebrating Martin Luther King's birthday. You know, the marketing trailer headline piece for the Selma movie, it says, "A dream can change the world." What is your dream? One of the great lines from Martin Luther King is, faith is taking that first step even when you can't see the staircase. Can you take that first step? Because there's something that is moving you in that direction. You're not quite sure what, and I don't know what's around the corner, but there's something I'm listening to. I am believing. It's in my spiritual DNA. I'll tell you what's in your spiritual DNA. Our ancestors, they cared for one another. They took care of each other. That's the thing itself. And how you take care is being who you are. It is loving. You know, they fed the hungry. They clothed the homeless. You know, what are you doing to support God's work? I'll tell you, it's to be who you are, to express who you are. And you'll be living in alignment with your spiritual call. My mom, she was a prayer warrior. You've heard me tell the story. She was a spiritual practitioner of religious science. She would see 40 people a week for 30 years. This wasn't just like a flash, a couple good years. It was a really good run. She used to get $100 a session, which, a decade ago, that was pretty good. But you can do the math. She was not impoverished. And as I listen to people, I can't make money doing this. And it just falls on deaf ears. Things have changed from before 2008. Things have changed from 1860. I can assure you, my dad could not conceive of a plumber or electrician making 6 figures a year. Have you called a plumber lately? He couldn't fathom paying his car mechanic more than $100 an hour. But I would do that, and we don't even go to the dealer. There are times that are moving. It is time for us to open up to what is next for us. We came into this world to express. We didn't come into this world to get. I need to get. No, we came into this world to express and to be, and to express that spirit and speak this truth and be willing to be criticized and say, there's a new thought here. And those that are into fear, they plant their flag and they're real loud and go, oh, this is terrible. Isn't this worry? Let's get the headlines on it. They are loud. And us peace expressors are kind of quiet. Yeah. Everything's going to be just fine. Calm down. We need to get louder and be able to speak peace in the face of those that speak fear. Speak joy in the face of those that speak a sense of sadness and say, you know what, there is an alternative. There is a thing itself. You can call it God. You can call it life. You can call it first cause, first breath. You can call it the word. You can call it the light. You can call it whatever you will, but it is forever seeking to express itself, and that is the way it works. It expresses itself through you, and it is infinite. The potential is inexhaustible. Where is it that you are stuck? How far have you gotten? Know that you can move beyond that if you are willing to just be present and listen, not to the static in your head, but the soul and the spirit of your being, for that's God. That's the divine, touching, gracing, tantalizing, teasing, revealing your possibility. So I want for you in this new year to be able to retool, if you would, upgrade your vision of what is possible and begin to speak that with an authority, with a voice, with a clarity. Because I want for you this year an amazing life with an expanding abundance. Because as you experience that, all of us at Seaside's world will be changed by your dream. God bless us. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring Bashira back to the stage.
All right, that was wonderful. Yes, yes, yes. So, did you know you're the light of the world? You are. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about yourself in this song.
Said the winds of change are coming. The leaves have fallen off the trees. I was searching outside myself for the answers, when all of the time it was in me. But now I know that I am the light of the world, and I am free, and I am all things possible, yeah, because my God is had to train my mind to listen to the sacred voice within. I had to shut down my ego, 'cause it was disguised as my friend. See, but now I know that I am the light of the world, and I am free, and I am all things possible, yeah, because my God is flowing through me. Great as you are, follow your heart. It never lies. It waits for you to answer the call. Great as you are, your strength lies within. So take it, please take it. And here we have a little sax. Let's take us higher. Yeah. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Because I am the light of the world, and I am free, and I am all things possible, yeah, because my God is flowing through me.
I want you to know something.
You're the light of the world. 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 Yeah, yeah. You are the light of the world.
Thank you.
That is Brashira. Oh, beautiful. Oh, thank you. Beautiful sound. Can't take the dancer out of that girl there. Her body just moves. It is wonderful. It is graceful. Thank you for sharing the full experience, for sure. Hey, this is time of our service where we pause and do the offering, a time where we're able to just say, thank you, God, for showing up in our life. A time to allow ourselves to be that channel through which it moves back out into the world, to take that which has graced our world and send it forth back with a blessing, with a sense of joy in our ability to be able to do that, to be able to give without strings attached, allows us to be in that flow. You know, it's all about the flow. It's done unto you as you believe. You know, it comes back to you as you give. It's not why you do it, but that is how it works. You are the activity that Spirit is having in your life at the level of your action, not your word, not the concepts. I got this all figured out. It's how are you being? What is the activity that you are doing? You become that conduit of the God expression in this moment. And in this collective way, we've been able to create a fabulous community known as Seaside that represents Spirit, the thing itself, to all of us. For moments like this, week after week for the last 25 years, we've paused and said, how have you been touched? So with that, I want to invite our ushers to come forward at this time and say thank you to this wonderful crew. And thank you to those that mail in your contributions when you can't be here on a Sunday. And bless those that are part of our auto tithe program, that regular systematic support from your world into Seaside. It's a wonderful blessing bringing that kind of consistency. And I share this prayer of gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities, knowing that this truly is a blessed moment where the fullness of the divine has its way in ever expressing and expanding kinds of expressions. For truly the blessings of Spirit moves in this moment, enriching our very awareness and our belief. And we find a faith that allows us to step out without needing to see the whole staircase, without needing to know how it's going to come back, but rather that I'm choosing to use this moment as an opportunity to be that conduit for that inexhaustible, infinite, expansive reservoir of ever-expanding good to find expression as our individual life. And so as I say yes to God at a new level, Spirit finds a new level of expression as my very experience, and I'm grateful for not only understanding this practice, but being that. So with a sense of joy, I take that which has been a joy in my life, and I send it forth, and continues to move forth on those currents of blessings to all those it comes in contact. Thank you, Father, Mother God, for this opportunity to pause and to practice the truth. And so it is. Amen. Together, let's say this affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. As I stand before this bounty, I can just feel the love just rising from the wellspring that is within the heart and soul of each and every one of us. For truly all that are present here are deeply rooted in spirit. And with that comes all that is ever necessary. We live in a world where there is plenty, there is enough. And I know right now that this is a representation of Seaside always being taken care of as we continue to expand the vision. There is always enough. So this gift that has been given in love, it is received in love, is taken care of in good stewardship, and it's sent forth back into the world on those wonderful vibrations of love, knowing it continues to bless and enrich all those it comes in contact. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this moment of divine right action. And so it is. Amen. This is Lori Gertz. She is your board treasurer and keeping an eye on things for us. So thank you. Guys, fabulous. As always, rocking the house. And looking forward to Lynn's group here, February 6th. That'll be fabulous. And Prashira, so glad you came back to us. We have missed you. Welcome home. Rebecca, you are fabulous and wonderful, and just glow and bless us all with your presence. Thank you. Reverend Tammy, always a joy to share a Sunday morning with you. Giving us sound today is Matthew. Giving us the visuals is Marv. And know that there are CDs available right afterwards in the bookstore, along with Tony Robbins' book if you want. And there's Edwin behind the camera broadcasting this to the world. It is greatly appreciated for sure. Flowers, I saw Arlene and Fritz. Thank you so much. 33 years, your anniversary. Thank you so much for sharing your love with us and bringing beauty to our sanctuary. And let's see, classes, powerful week of classes. Oh my goodness, what an offering. Monday nights, you can be with Reverend Tammy on the power of word. You want to learn how to pray? Oh my goodness, that is the place to be. And Tuesday nights, you got Kathy Hearn, class packed the house. They're just adoring what she has to share on Tuesdays about free to love. And then I'm doing the foundation. So if you haven't taken the basics, Tuesday night right here in the sanctuary with me, it is great. Thursday night, you've got Dr. Roger Julien, Igniting Your Life with the Bible. It is a fabulous semester of class offering, so please take advantage of that. Saturday, we got the men's breakfast group meeting here. The following Friday, the 30th, I understand Rebecca is playing in Del Mar. I'm from Searsucker, like up by the shopping center in off the island. So mark your calendar. You want to go hear her. Great food, I understand, at Searsucker. So maybe we'll get that. It's on the 30th, so it's not this coming Friday. It is this coming Friday. Next one. Okay, anyway. There's just so much going on, but what's happening right now is prayer. First, we are going to pray, but oh, man, this week, just a heartfelt experience. Elizabeth is sitting here today, and her guide, George, who has sat next to her for more than a decade here at Seaside, is not with him because George made his transition on Tuesday. And a pillar of Seaside, he was, you are, your family has been, and our heart just aches for you. We know George is good, and he's moving on those wonderful currents of eternality. You guys have contributed so much, and gosh, George was in all the meetings. I don't know what it's going to be like without him in there. But our love goes out to you, and please let us know if there's anything we can do to support you. I mean, the fact that you're here just a few days later with your son and your daughter and just the family that surrounds you, it just makes me feel so good that you came here home. So we love you. And remember George in prayers for sure. So thank you. Thank you. And for religious science practitioners, I want to invite you to stand into this heartfelt place. Feel the love that's in this room. It just felt right now is beyond anything I said this morning. That's the presence. That's God. That's love. That's what I was alluding to when I said ineffable. But it's true. It's real. You can feel that. That's what I am. That is what you are, is that Spirit expressing. That's what it means to be that conduit of the divine movement, to be present in the moment. And as I come to know the truth of my being is Spirit, I know that I am of that. I am Spirit expressing in this moment the revelation, the truth, the proclamation, the affirmation, the declaration of wholeness. That's the truth of being right here. I feel it. I sense it. I know that is the truth of who we are. And so as we hit those moments of discouragement and just want to fall back upon what's inside that box and not have to just be new. I know there's something inside that wants to birth a new thought, a new feeling, a new expression, a new something that says there is more than this. There's something that when the timing is right will raise its head and say, now is the appointed time. Now is the time for the thing itself to express itself in a new way, in a renewed way, in a refreshed way, in a revitalizing way, in an uplifting way, in a way of deep assurance and deep knowingness. That vision that is tantalizing, stirring, and teasing the soul of the possibilities brings with it everything that is necessary to allow it to happen as your very experience. You can go for $9 an hour or 50 million. The choice is yours. But the thing itself is infinite. And it knows how to do it. It knows how to heal a broken heart, a broken body. Something that is out of balance when surrenders to the flow, comes back into balance, comes back into perfect weight. It is irrelevant what's on the outside and what the world is saying, what the doctors say, what the bank account says. You are a child of the infinite. That is what is in your spiritual DNA. And there's no one and no thing that can deny that, put the limit on that, put the box around it, except you. It is your determination, your imagination, and claim this moment that you're moving up in this new year to an amazing life with expanding abundance and all the blessings that that brings, that everything is lining up for your greater good in this moment, bringing with it the richness and the joy and the happiness and the fulfillment, not because it is in the things, but because that is what you are becoming, a greater expression, the truth of who you are with a deep knowingness. And with this wonderful flow, healing happens in the body. Every prayer request in our prayer request chest is answered because the Spirit's flow. The body knows how to heal. We hold into our hearts our dear beloved practitioner, Jan Hartman, who's going in for knee surgery on Tuesday, that right where she is, the Spirit of God is, and the body knows how to cooperate with that perfectly. We surround our beloved cameraman, Tim Griffin, whose brother at this time is preparing to make his transition. That his brother knows what to do. Nature provides. He is fine. He's infinite. And Tim is surrounded with love and the strength that is needed at this time. And in this loving moment of expanded heart, we surround Elizabeth Burmeister with our love, with our caring, with our compassion, with our prayers, knowing that this spiritual strength that she could ever need is right there present. We all see that and know and ever available. For George moves on with the wonderful currents of eternality, that life force that pumped his heart for more than 90 years is a life force that can never be extinguished. It is a force to be reckoned with. It is a greater light in the celestial realms. The heavens sparkle ever brighter, for that sparkle that is in his eyes is the sparkle that continues on. We have an ambassador that has gone before us. Seaside is blessed by those that are here and by those that are there. We continue to say yes to the emerging vision for this community, that this community continues to grow, it continues to thrive, it continues to expand its abundance because it continues to put Spirit first and say yes always to God. And I'm grateful for the healing that takes place, the practitioners that speak the words of truth. I'm grateful for the divine that emanates in this moment through each and every one of us, allowing us to step from where we were to the greater yet to be that is calling each of us forward in the new expression, in the new decade, in the new millennium, in the new way of being refreshed, retooled, revitalized, revamped, and ready to go. So I let go. I trust. I believe. I surrender. I just have that faith. And I take that step before I see the full stairway. I surrender to this moment of God. And so it is.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. This is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. So no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free. I'm
And our affirmation is, I am spirit expressing. Let's say that together. I am spirit expressing. Touch your heart and say it like you mean it. I am spirit expressing. One more time. I am spirit expressing. And our song of praise.
I'm living in love. I'm living in peace. I'm living my life for what I believe, through joys and through fears. In this world I walk, God's grace shines on me, and it shines on us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We're living in love. We're living in peace. United we stand as one family. We honor our truth as together we walk. God's grace moves through me, and it moves through us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace.